everyone, Raj Girn here. I'm back at it with season 2 of my podcast, The Transform Your Confidence Show. For those of you who are here for the first time, thank you for stopping in. This is a weekly professional development show where I bring industry experts on to discuss important insights, strategies, and resources that target executives and entrepreneurs who are looking to level up their mindset, branding, media, marketing, and leadership game. And I focus specifically on these 5 areas because they've been my wheelhouse of experience over the past 20 years, where I've worked with Fortune 500 brands, entrepreneurs, celebrities, and thought leaders through 2 brands I founded 2 decades ago in the events and multimedia space, namely Anoki Life and Open Chest, as well as my newest brand, the Open Chest Confidence Academy, which, by the way, turned 1 just recently. This offers coaching, consulting, mentoring, as well as guided mastermind courses and media and marketing support in a curated format designed specifically to meet the needs of our clients, whether they be newbies to business or industry stalwarts, whether they be personal brands or legacy brands. Guys, my years in the biz has had me involved in everything from interviewing high-profile personalities around the globe to having them attend my various brands curated events as performers, speakers, and awardees, to marketing and promoting new campaigns for globally syndicated multinational corporations. And here's the most valuable thing I've learned. You can only perfect expertise if you're willing to deep dive into the trenches of experience, guys. That's been the big takeaway for me and allowed me to succeed at the long game. Looking back, yes, I've had tremendous success along the way, but I also deeply value the debilitating failures because if truth were to be told, they've seriously helped me police my ego on one side and taught me to appreciate every stage of the business process on the other. Like knowing who all of the stakeholders are, guys, and not just the ones that pay the bills, but the ones that keep working when you yourself as the founder can't anymore. Or the ones who clean up your mess, like the daytime corporates and equally the nighttime cleaning staff, both roles that I've held over the years, by the way, because they know that without them, things would cease to function efficiently and in some cases would cease to function at all. I've also learned that sitting at the bottom of the corporate pyramid as the CEO is far more valuable than peacocking at the top. And I've done both because you learn more from the doers at the bottom than the lip service at the top. Another thing I've learned is that the best people that really lift up your vision are the ones that can see beyond your limitations. And mark my words, guys, these are the most destructive people you will ever come across because they know how to get the visionaries, people like you and me, to where they so desperately want to go. My advice to you regarding them, let them be destructive and shake shit up, guys, because the reality is to build up better, you have to break down what exists that doesn't work anymore. I've learned the hard way that what's scarier than trusting the perceived crazies is not trusting your decision that you should. Let me say that again. What's crazier than trusting the perceived crazies is not trusting your decision that you should. I've worked with so many people who at the core of their failures didn't trust their own gut. I know because I've also been that person, and I've learned that when I trust myself, I always get it right, even if that right is to correct a wrong. So with all that said and done, for those of you who are regulars to my show, thank you so much for your patience, for allowing me to give context to everyone new here. And thank you for allowing me to take a 2-month hiatus. It was important for me to do that this time, especially with the couple of years that we've all been experiencing. And the reason why, it was like really, really important for me is that last year for my third brand, the Open Chess Confidence Academy, it was a foundational year. This year for me is a growth and expansion year. So I really needed to take those 2 months off to kind of, sit with the year that was, and I needed to reflect on that year and to meditate on, what could the next year look like so that I can see what worked, what didn't work, and what the possibilities could look like for me in 2022 to be able to just serve greater and deeper and with, better value. It's always what I'm looking to try and accomplish, because I'm always on this perpetual journey to better my life on every single level that I possibly can. And with that parallel, I want to be able to offer you guys the nuggets of wisdom from that experience. So in this second season of the Transform Your Confidence show, I'm looking to delve deeper into the experiences of my guests to garner their expertise and to get a greater understanding on their unique vantage point, where the real takeaways come from, guys, and not the ones you can flip through in a textbook or Google about. Guys, this season, I want to participate in your journey, albeit virtual, to help you quantum leap this year if you're ready to armor up your game. I found that the only way to get there is by getting to the crux of understanding 3 core elements, namely the strategy piece, the actioning part, and the measurables that can help you swing back to the strategy piece far stronger when you go to tackle the next stage of upping your brand and company's growth. These are the things, guys, that have resulted in each of my guests accomplishing the really big moves that have led to the major successes in their brands, the major successes in their businesses, and yes, in their lives also. Isn't that the whole point of why we do what we do, is to get a better curated lifestyle and for it to kind of, be exactly what it is that we've always dreamt of, but to create a reality around that dream? Isn't that the whole point of life, guys? It is for me, and I hope it is for you. So if this is also what you're looking for this year, mark this down, guys, because I don't want you to miss a single episode of this groundbreaking season. For those of you who prefer to watch these revelations unfold because it's how you understand how to connect with what's being shared, subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Open Chess Confidence Academy and hit the notification button there. If you prefer to listen, because that's how you absorb the digestibles, I recommend you subscribe to the Transform Your Confidence show on all podcast platforms. And if you're far more of a reader like I am, then head over to my website, the openchessconfidence.com/media/podcast, because that's where you can do the read. That's also the easiest way to be able to go back over the aspects that mean something to you without having to rewind anything back. Each month, guys, I'll be bringing you guests in weekly themed episodes where week 1 will be focusing on mindset and clarity. Week 2 will be focusing on media and communications. In week 3, we'll be jumping into branding and marketing. And in week 4, we'll be rounding things off with anecdotes on what makes for great leadership and advocacy. Guys, with this being week 1, my focus today is on mindset and clarity, where I'll be chatting with finance and wealth expert Pam Malhotra, the founder of What the Financial here in Toronto, with an episode entitled Money Mindset for the Win in 2022. Pam's extensive 25-year career has focused on financial planning, wealth management, real estate, and mortgages, and she believes in a holistic approach to money. We definitely want to find out more about that, so please welcome the fabulous Pam Malhotra.
Raj, thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to chatting with you.
Absolutely. And, I'm really excited actually to share your story, Pam, with everyone watching, listening, and reading this, as well as having you share some tips and strategies around money and specifically money mindset, because that's where we tend to kind of really hiccup as we continue to grapple with all the things that we've been dealing with the global challenges of the past couple of years. So to kind of just kick things off, I want to ask you to share a bit about what was life like for you before you realized that you had a special talent for understanding the money game? Like, what was your personal narrative like as you were growing up?
Well, Raj, I'm actually a child of two immigrants who came to Canada with the hope of giving their children a better life. So you can imagine what it's like, not having everything, but still having enough. And I think that's where I was more appreciative of everything that I was learning, and just focusing on growth. I think that's where, my journey started. I wanted to, aid my parents in this mission that they had, left everything, their home, people that they know, and kind of aid in their process and say, let me help you, because they would say, we wish we had education funds for you. Well, you didn't know about it. So I took it upon myself to make a difference for other Canadians or other immigrants who were coming and challenged by financial literacy. My early time started when I was 21, applied to the banks, 4 banks out of the 5, and I was lucky enough to get an interview with all 4. I chose the bank that gave me the most exposure to immigrants, and because they had a program designed for immigrants. Even at 21, I knew that I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to make sure that it was calculated and the right path for me.
Absolutely. And, you had quite the illustrious career in the corporate realm. I'm really curious, and I want you to share this with everyone. What encouraged you to go from this high profile corporate career to becoming an entrepreneur when you launched What the Financial last year? Like, what gap is it that you're looking to fill that you feel traditional financial institutions are missing the ball on?
Well, first of all, let's acknowledge that the financial institutions do a great job of creating a financial plan. They put millions of dollars behind their procedures, so I think that part's down. The challenge and the opportunity that I figured was, well, I give you a financial plan, and now you know what you need to do, but who actually follows through? Who actually mitigates the risk of not being able to do what you talked about? I think right now financial plans are just given to you and you're responsible, and ultimately you are responsible for your financial freedom. But wouldn't it be nice to have someone by your side to help mitigate the risk, let you know when opportunities exist, and so that you can really work and focus on what your passions are? That's why I created WTF. We help you so you can focus on your passion, and we make sure that you do it in the most possible effective way. We create wealth. And that's what we want to do. Because why are we working? We're working to create wealth.
And you do this in a number of ways. There's actually 4 core areas that you focus on: financial planning, wealth management, real estate, and mortgages. And I'm sure there's a slew of others, but those are the 4 core. I know that what the financial focus is on at this present time. Can you briefly describe why these are the areas that your company services, predominantly speaking?
Well, during my career at the bank, what I realized is year over year, I was dealing with clients who were happy with their money management system. But as you know, as a Canadian today, you're interested in figuring out what's happening over there, which is real estate. I realized that at one point, real estate and financial wealth and financial freedom were not different things. At the bank, we're designed to help clients with financial planning and focus on that. But I had a hard time telling my clients that real estate didn't make sense. And this is where I decided that, you know what, if I couldn't be true to the art that I enjoy so much, that it was time that I took a step back and learned the areas that interested me the most and that I've actually made wealth from because I was interested in those areas. So, you want to walk and talk and then teach. I think that's what I wanted to illuminate, that I knew what I was doing, that I was able to build this wealth for myself. And I have the theory, the practical, to create that for other people as well, for other Canadians as well.
There's just so much to talk about here. And I guess what I want to focus on, Pam, are maybe some of the more common areas that people tend to maybe trip up on. Maybe it's the knowledge piece, maybe it's the execution piece, maybe it's the advice piece. So let me ask you this. How can someone sustain and grow wealth through diversification? Because everybody in, the money game talks about diversification. Can you explain that one piece for us?
Yeah, let's start off with what is diversification. I think, first of all, understanding that diversification is the art, I want to call it an art because it can be, of taking your money and putting it in the best possible pockets to have the maximum return. Inadvertently, it's also mitigating the risk. There's different types of risk. As you know, recently with COVID, the world stopped and we had to figure out a different way for us to function. Just like that, as your portfolio is performing, and you want to make sure that if things happen, that it continues to perform and that we mitigate the risk associated with it. So at What the Financial, we've built our program around proactive risk management, proactive strategies. So you're not left with, oh my God, something happens. Now, I'm not saying that every time something happens, we have an answer. But what I'm saying is we're definitely going to approach it from a perspective of making a change as quickly and efficiently as we can for our clients to ensure that their goal of financial freedom is not altered more than it needs to be.
You mentioned something here that, I grapple with a lot, and I know that a lot of entrepreneurs do. And this is this whole kind of idea behind risk management. From my perspective, I tend to take greater risks as an entrepreneur than perhaps someone who may be working for someone. For all the entrepreneurs out there, can you share perhaps the top 3 insights that you feel that they really should be considering when wanting to optimize their risk management IQ?
Right. First of all, risk is subjective. We all are different people, and therefore we all have different risk tolerances. This year, personally, I've also learned that entrepreneurship is completely different than when you work in a corporate job. I think the 3 things that I'd like to say is, first of all, be mindful that we are different and that there isn't a cookie cutter approach to our strategy. What we need to be really good at is defining our goal and understanding that it's the journey that we have to plan out. Raj, a couple of times when you and I are discussing things, you'll remind me, like, slow down, stop, take a minute. And that can happen for anyone. I'm in the industry and I feel overwhelmed. So first of all, understand where you're at. There's a huge focus on behavioral finance. And why does that exist? Because we need to understand who we are in order to engage in a portfolio that makes sense to us. Secondly, identify your risks. I mean, how can you solve for something if you don't even know it exists? If you know there's a risk to your business, or there's a opportunity that you like to pursue, but you're limited, look at that and ask yourself, how can I make those changes? It's not going to be an overnight success. I mean, I'm personally realizing all the challenges, but I've taken the time to understand what challenges are and kind of navigate through that. The third thing is be kind to yourself. Create a strategy that's reasonable, attainable, and manageable. With What the Financial, we believe in armed goals. What that means is they're attainable, reasonable, measurable, defined by economic value, and defined by a date. How much is it going to cost you? When do you want to get there? And how are you going to get there? And I would say these are the 3 things that you just want to navigate every single day. Ask yourself, 1% better.
This it begs me to ask you my next question, which is, what are some things people should avoid that a lot of financial people are selling out there? I mean, especially on the internet, right? We're like bombarded with all kinds of, sales strategies to make money, save money, and all of the above. And I guess the second part of that for me would be, why would we need to avoid them?
Okay, first of all, I don't think you need to avoid them.
Okay.
I actually think that, knowing what's out there is half your battle. We need to understand what's out there. And remember, somebody actually used the formula that they're selling to actually make money. So maybe that works for you. I think the deeper understanding needs to be is what works for me as an individual. What can I tolerate personally? Raj, maybe somebody can tolerate only a 5% deviation on their plan, whereas someone else might say, hey, I'm okay with the 20% deviation. That alone gives them 2 different opportunities. And thousands of opportunities within those opportunities. So I think you don't need to avoid everything. I think we need to just, really be focused on what we want to achieve and understand that, while these opportunities are available, maybe some of them make sense for you. Take the time, do the research, see what resonates with you, and, trial and error. You can, that's the only way. At What the Financial, though, the way we focus our program and courses is we actually teach you not only what to do, but why you should do that. So because we focus on reprogramming not only your mindset, but your behavior around money, we inadvertently change your relationship, not for today, not while you're coaching with me, for the rest of your life. Because remember, a decision or their lack of in the financial world is also a decision. It impacts your generational wealth, regardless if we like it. That purse you buy, et cetera, so forth, impacts us.
Absolutely. Guys, you heard it right here. We are speaking with Pam Malhotra, who is the founder, and she's a master strategist when it comes to, really kind of getting your head space and, your heart space and, your planning for wealth, your understanding about what wealth is, how to diversify it, and how to do what you want that's best for what you're looking to accomplish. That's the other piece here, that What the Financial offers. You got to go check them out. Pam, can you just quick drop the website for everyone? Just want to make sure that they can go and, see more if they're interested in, kind of what are your products and services, and even, some information that you just share because you feel that, you're compelled to share that stuff with people.
Right. So our website is www.whatthefinancialacademy.com. But I would actually say venture off into Instagram. We've really focused on Instagram at the moment. Starting this month, we are actually changing our strategy around social media. Raj, that was something new to me as well, as I mentioned to you, a few of my challenges. So I'm working with my team to make sure that we're more effective. But for now, I'd say let's head over to What the Financial on Instagram and give us a follow. You can book an appointment and you can see what kind of courses, et cetera, that we have coming forward for the year.
Absolutely. And when people book appointments, Pam, let me just kind of put this out there. Is this something that, like a discovery call? Is it a strategy call? Do people, have to pay for it? Is it something that you do complimentary? Just so people, because I know this will be a question, right? It's a question I get all the time.
Well, first of all, because I believe that you need to know who you're working with, I also like to take the opportunity to make sure that I'm working with clients that I can work with. And here's why. Because if you and I are not in sync, why would you want financial advice from me?
Right.
And so this opportunity, it's a 15-minute discovery call, just so you kind of hear who I am, kind of understand where my mindset is. I like to take a few minutes and understand who you are, what your goals are, and see if we can work from there. Now, you have a quick question, I'm more than happy to answer. But when it comes to the program, before you even jump into any program, and this is going back to, what should we do? Get to know the person actually giving you the program.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. So yes, there's no cost for it. Feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to have that discussion with our clients.
Absolutely. Guys, I just want to say again, if you are joining us, I have known Pam for quite some time, and I've seen kind of her journey through her various avatars in the financial arena. And one thing that I do.
One thing I want to correct, it's not just watching me, Raj. You have been pivotal in getting me here. So I just want to add that. I think, back in 2016, when we had that moment where I was kind of just explaining what I do and you stood up and you said, we're going to work together. I was like, okay. And look at where we are today. So thank you. Thank you again.
Sweetheart. It's such a, an honor and a blessing to work with someone like you. And like you, I choose the people that I want to work with. And this is the thing that's really important, folks. This is not an ego thing. When, conversations are had with people that you're looking to help you, coach, consult, or mentor, or give you expert strategy or advice. The thing is that we want to make sure that that this is going to be a collaborative effort, right, Pam? This is the big key word, and the key that's going to help you to really get to where you want to get to at the end of the day. Pam, I have this question that I've got to ask you, because I'm kind of at that kind of mid mark in my life. I'm coming towards kind of maybe 2/3 of my career already, being in the past, coming to that point in my life. I want to ask you this, because this is also something that I feel a lot of people don't really know how and when to do. Here's the question. When should someone start to plan for retirement? Give us that nugget.
Absolutely. First of all, Raj, congratulations. You've been a trailblazer in the industry. I think that, you just, want to take a moment and really acknowledge the changes that you've made. So I want to do that as well. Okay. Secondly, retirement. What an interesting concept nowadays. I mean, not everybody wants to retire at 65 and not everybody wants to work till, some people are like, I don't want to work at 40. For me, retirement starts early. I have retirement discussions with my clients at 18, 19. Because that's how I can, and the rationale for that is, because you'll hear specialists and they'll say, well, they can't even put into the RSP, that's not when they get their maximum growth. But here's what I'm going to say. It's about building the discipline around money so you can build the financial freedom you want. Okay. I know you want to retire at 65, maybe you want to retire at 50, but there are people right now who don't want to work a day in their life. Having said that, consequently, there are also people who don't want to stop working for the rest of their life. So retirement, right? So retirement is, I would say, for what the financial is, the ability to choose the lifestyle you want. It's not associated with making an income or not. It's really about being able to live your life the way you want on the terms that you want and having the financial ability to fund that lifestyle. So I would say start early, have those discussions early so you can build the discipline so you actually have the option to retire whenever you want.
I love that. That is just that's the gold right there, folks. Can I ask you just, off of that, for people, starting early on in life, you say, so basically it's never too early to start thinking about your retirement. But for those people that, especially, older generations where the whole retirement thing was something that, we thought about later on in our lives because that's what we were taught to do. What would you say to those people, Pam? Like people who are, in the latter part of their lives and they feel that now is the time that they should be planning it. Is there anything different that you would advise that group of people versus the people that are starting off at like 18, 19, 20?
Right. Definitely. So for example, understanding that we have CPP, old age security, that's something us Canadians have. That is a benefit of being a Canadian. Knowing how much you're going to get, that's really important as well. Meet with your financial planner. We'd love to be that planner for you, but if there's somebody that you're already working with, go to them, understand what you're actually going to get for your future. You can plan that now. See, we believe in reactive planning, holistic planning, and then kind of look at the gap that you're going to have. What kind of lifestyle? General rule of thumb, when you're looking at your current income in retirement, you're going to want to maintain 70% of your income. So if you're looking to do that, we can easily generate an estimate of what you need to put away. I know when we start later, we feel like we've missed it. We haven't missed anything. I think it's about closing the gap and being proactive. So I would say, just be open to learning, engaging, and then executing.
I love everything that you just said. This is just so helpful. I'm learning a lot. I know that everyone watching, listening, and reading this are also learning a lot. A lot of what you're talking about, Pam, is also going to beg so many other discussions. So you got to come back on. That needs to happen.
It would be my absolute pleasure.
Oh my God, it would be great. So I want to ask you this now. Let's step into this whole idea, this kitschy pop cultural, ideology called money mindset.
Absolutely.
Single most precious skill from my perspective to learn to cultivate a successful relationship with money. Many of us carry this kind of, mindset habits that come from our parents, right? I mean, so I want to kind of maybe go there first. First of all, how can we remodel ourselves to have a healthy relationship with money rather than a fear-based one, which I feel a lot of our parents and prior to generations were more conditioned into believing in because of kind of the way that the Industrial Revolution had us all kind of pigeonholed into kind of, a hierarchical system. Can you share your thoughts there first? Right.
So first of all, we have to understand that our parents did whatever the best they could based on what was available to them. There were a lot of programs that were fundamentally available to them, but they just didn't know about it. So number one thing is understand what's available to you. Understand the program that's available to you. If you actually go to the government website, there is a financial planning platform that they've created for Canadians. Take the time and go there and understand what's available. Now, it can be a daunting task. This is where what the financial comes in. We go ahead and we eliminate all the noise, because I think we already have enough noise in the industry, and just say, who are you? What's important to you? You tell us that. We don't tell you that. And then we help you navigate. We look at it from a perspective where, how do we get our clients to from point A, where they are, to where they want to be proactively with the least amount of impact in their lifestyle, in their current spending. There might be an impact, but how do we mitigate that along with managing risk for our clients?
Absolutely. Pam, there are so many studies that show, and I got to get this in, so I'm going to ask it now, that show that women have a much lower propensity to kind of valuing themselves around money, than men do. So, men very, very quickly and easily can ask for what they feel they're worth, but women feel that they need to be like a gazillion times better than their male counterpart to be able to ask the same amount of money. So I want to ask you this. I would love to share your experience around this with, men and women clients that you've serviced over, the number of years that you have. What are your insights to that?
My insights is, regardless of gender, it's what we believe we are worth. Okay. If we believe that we should be going to work and making X amount of dollars, and through our program, we actually teach you what your return on investment, return of your time is. You're going to work, you're making this much. We actually calculate it for our clients and say, okay, do you like this number? If you don't, then let's change it. I think, women may have had a hard time, but also today women own 32% of the world's wealth. And that is only increasing year over year. Yeah. One thing that I did a really good job with, even in my, throughout my career, is regardless of who the client was, regardless of gender, I took the time to understand what their needs are. Just because, it's a man versus a woman, I didn't assume anything, because we are so fortunate that we can ask and do anything. Once we truly fundamentally believe that, this gap will diminish further, right? And this is what I've seen. I've had clients who have started with me, 18, 19 young women. I've been able to mold them a lot faster, where they're, at 30, under 30, and have more wealth than our counterparts in a higher age. I think it's really about being open to learn and understanding that it's not a gender thing. It is completely a mindset thing. What the Financial this month will be focusing on, get fit with What the Financial. It's about getting fit mentally, physically, spiritually, so that you can really understand what's important to you. Because once we do that groundwork, Raj, we can build a financial empire. That's not the hard part. It's about understanding what you want and what resonates with you, regardless of gender.
Absolutely. A lot of women still, unfortunately, grapple with this whole idea that their income isn't as important, or maybe their value isn't as important as their male counterpart. Unfortunately, that still is the case.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you were to be faced by a client that came to you with that ideology, what would you say to them?
Well, this is why we designed our Financial Freedom 360 program. We change your mindset, we change your behavior, and we change your relationship with money. Because see, the thing is, money is not genderized. Money is money. So your desire for money is not based on the fact that it is something that resonates with your gender. It's something that you want. So the best way to achieve that is to understand that it's everything in here. You need to understand what's important to you and get it. Does gender inequality exist? Absolutely. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying we have to do a better job of focusing on what we can control and asking for what we feel we're worth. And if we feel that we're not able to get that, then we need to look inside and say, okay, what am I doing? What am I missing? And then ultimately work with you, because I know you can change lives.
Absolutely, sweetheart. I adore you. So I want to just ask you this. We are sitting at kind of, the beginning of 2022, right? This is when people, in Q1, are very excited about the opportunity of a new calendar year. What are some of the trends in money and wealth building that people need to know about this year?
Well, I'm sure you've heard Bitcoin, NFTs. There's so many things out there. And I'll be very honest, what the financial does not focus on any of them, but focuses on everything. What I mean by that, just because it's out there doesn't necessarily mean that that trend is for you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about the wins, but seldom do you hear about the losses, whether that's in a portfolio, whether that's in a purchase of Bitcoin. So again, our program is designed for us to focus on not only the trends, but ensuring that we have sustainable plans that will endure time. Okay. As we evolve as humans, we're going to have more programs. We're going to have different things. We're going to have different trends. We just have to understand what's important to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, sure, look into Bitcoin, look into NFT, for Canadians, look into real estate. What really resonates with you, and then eat, breathe, and sleep that stuff, and get to know what's important, and make it happen for yourself. And if you can't, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help.
What I really love about, the reoccurring theme that I'm hearing here from you, Pam, which I think is just kind of the key that I feel that anyone that feels that, I'm not making enough money, or I'm not saving enough money, or I don't have enough opportunities to be able to take me to that kind of place of financial freedom that I want to. The theme I'm hearing you constantly say is you've got to design your wealth portfolio based on what you're looking to accomplish for your lifestyle. This is kind of the big takeaway that I'm getting from you, and that what the financial is really in a position to help you wherever it is that you may be along that journey, because you have a very holistic approach to financial planning and wealth building. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, you got it right there. We navigate with you, right? So we don't teach you what to do. We focus on the journey. You already know the destination. I think that's really important. And we move with the punches. If things change, we change with you. We help you create that difference. And again, like I said, we get these beautiful financial plans in the traditional method, but who actually helps you with the execution? How many times is when you go to execute that the other partner in the industry, say it's a mortgage agent, say it's a realtor, forgets or misses the mark of what you want to achieve. And then we're frustrated. And then we go back and we rinse and repeat the cycle. So, take charge.
Absolutely. Pam, I want to ask you about your courses, because I know that by now everyone's probably curious. We're talking about courses, we're talking about working with you and your team. Let's, kind of give people an idea of, what you've got available now and what your plan is to roll out throughout 2022, because anyone that's watching, listening, or reading this, whichever one of those kind of makes sense to them, they can easily book that free strategy and discovery call with you. So can you share that piece for us?
Absolutely. So right now we spend a lot of time on creating our Financial Freedom 360 program. And the rationale behind that is I realized that no matter what financial plan I was giving people, if their fundamentals were not right, it only worked for that moment. And then when they went away, they were frustrated again. So we've spent a huge part of our existence creating this program. This is based on my experiences. This is based on things that I know that I have tried on hundreds of clients that has fundamentally changed the way they think about money, and inadvertently how much they have. We are rolling out courses. This program will be an online program shortly. And then we will be working on podcasts. WTF is going to be coming out with the service platform where we're actually going to be bringing in professionals so that you can actually take a look at, what that should feel like, what that should look like, and maybe reach out to some of the professionals we believe are in the right mindset, which is working in your benefit to create the financial future that you want.
I love everything about that. Couple of things I want to kind of touch upon about what you just said there. One is the course, the 360-degree approach that you're talking about, the course. When will this be available for people to maybe pre-sign up? And when are you projecting to kind of roll it out? Like spring?
Yes.
Summer?
Yes. I think we'll be ready by latest summer. There is a lot of hard work in production. And like I said, this is a new game to me. I've never been an entrepreneur before, almost 20 years in the banking industry. So be gentle. I am coming out with it. I do need some time. As you know, I am a designated personal financial planner, have my real estate license and my mortgage license. So, I have to work 3 parts of my brains and really put this together, but understand when you work with us, you really leave feeling like in absolute control of your financial future.
Absolutely. You also mentioned that you're looking at launching a podcast. When can people expect the launch for that?
We're focused on launching our podcast for Q2 because, again, production, learning the ropes, technology is something very challenging for me, finding the right partners. I've been very lucky to find the right partners to execute this. So I look forward to it all coming together. What I'm sure you've noticed on What the Financial, there's no presence of me. So you can stay tuned for that as well. You'll be seeing a lot more of me.
Absolutely. And Pam, I wanted to kind of just direct people to this as well. Is there a way that people can maybe sign up to your email list or something like that through your website or any other means to be notified when some of these kind of launches will be coming about?
Yep, we actually have it available through Instagram right now. You can book for our pre-launch course, Budgeting 360, and then also sign up for the 12-week comprehensive Financial Freedom 360 program. And the reason for 360 is I truly give you a 360 view on your finances.
I love everything about that. Pam, I want to ask you this, since we're kind of getting ready to close off, there's just so much more that I want to speak to you about that. Again, as I mentioned earlier on in the show, I've got to bring you back on. There are just so many different kind of nuances, so many areas to deep dive. This was more kind of like a, overview of what to think about from a money mindset perspective. But there's so much I'd like to kind of hone in and deep dive. So I really would love to have you come back on. But before we let you go, I want to ask you this. Is there anything that I haven't, asked you or we haven't touched upon that you feel that you'd like people to know right now?
I think as we move from COVID, I think it's really important to understand. And like I said, we're bringing in the financial fit with WTF is to really take the time to understand where your finances are. And sure, there's a lot of people that are, we've saved a lot. We hear about that, but there's also a lot of people that are not going to be in the positions that they like. So what I would say is take account of your current finances and find the right professional to help you kind of move to the goals that you want. Second thing is I like to build 90-day programs. What that means is in 90 days, let's shift, mindset, let's shift wealth, let's shift real estate. So I always tell my clients, build a 90-day plan for yourself. Tell me what you want to achieve in these 90 days. Why? I don't believe it. Like it's a new calendar year. I have a new year. I'm going to do all this. It's just hard to be accountable. I mean, we started in 2020 and said, okay, we got this. This was our year. And all of a sudden the world shut.
Right.
So, 90-day plans for yourself, personal, financial, set them and really focus on making those things happen. One foot in front of the other.
Absolutely. And What the Financial will be there to kind of fill in the gaps and to kind of, anchor you and help you make decisions that are ones that really are where you want to go rather than what, pop culture and your parents are telling you should be doing, guys. I mean, let's get real here. This is about you and where you want to go. And I think that that's the big key difference between What the Financial and what any of the other financial institutions, independent or corporate. I really do feel that's the big difference here. Pam, as we close out, please share again all of your credentials and, all the places that people can hang out with you and reach out to you.
Absolutely. You can actually check out my credentials on LinkedIn. I am verifiable. So if you click under my courses with CSI, you can actually click and verify and see when I got those. Also, like I said, I have my real estate and mortgage license. Again, I'm not looking to do everything. What I'm trying to do is create a niche where I understand that if I give you a plan to go purchase a home, that it is actually something that is attainable. And that you're not hostage to going through the whole process and then figuring out, well, Pam's plan didn't work. Because that is what's happening with financial plans that are set today. We have these wonderful, elaborate ideas of what goals should be, and then we kind of miss the mark. So check out LinkedIn for my profile. And further, like I said, right now, I'd like to focus on on Instagram. That's where we're at. Feel free to jump on there, give us a follow. And, if you have any questions, send us a DM. We'll be more than happy to answer.
Pam, you are such a pleasure. What, insightful information. You kind of really dumbed it down for those of us who don't have kind of the financial literacy that you have. And that's the other thing I think that's, very different with, working with someone like you, working with you particularly, is that you're able to bring it down to everyday language. I really, really thank you for all the insights that you've shared. And I really hope that everybody's able to kind of utilize some of what you're talking about to create and cultivate and grow a healthy money mindset. Pam,
I look forward to it. Thank you, Raj. Thank you again for the opportunity. And I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Absolutely. Guys, I really hope that you got some real value from today's show and will share it with everyone you know who you feel needs to get today's insights. I also hope that you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Open Chest Confidence Academy. On podcast platforms, search the Transform Your Confidence show. And on my website, hop over to the openchestconfidenceacademy.com/media/podcast, where you can read and bookmark the episodes that really speak to you. And I'll see you next week for a media and communications themed episode. Take care, guys.